Grab the controller, sit your ass in the sofa. It's game time, baby. Crying Gamer.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Crying Gamer in the building, baby. And if you don't know, now you know. Today we are talking about two pieces of hardware right here. We have the Nintendo Switch Pro controller and the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controllers in the building. We're going to talk about the pros and if there are any cons to these items, to see if it's worth your purchase. Maybe you're on the fence about a Switch controller because because your unit came with a Joy-Cons. Do you really need the Pro controller? Today we're going to get right on into it, talk about the feel, moving on to what this is really about, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller in all of its glory. Ooh, yeah. This controller does almost everything right. Everything right with one flaw. We'll get to the flaw, but we're gonna talk about what it does right. The way the controller, you hold this in your hand, it feels right at home. It's not uncomfortable. All the buttons are pretty much there for you to press, especially the X, A, Y, and B. I like the size of these buttons. You can't miss them. They feel good in the hand. The triggers, good spacing. Has the bottom trigger has a nice little curve to it, similar to the PS4. These buttons here are similar to the Xbox One, and also the mold actually is pretty similar to the Xbox One. It just feels good. It feels good. The D-pad feels excellent. I like the way it feels. It's a little stiff right now, but I'm sure with extensive use, it will loosen up a little bit. But it definitely does. It definitely feels good. Analog sticks feel awesome. Moving on, let's move on to the cons. Oh, let me talk about also it's actually motion. You can actually move with it, so that's also a plus with this. So let's move on to the cons. Or the con. There's only one con with this controller. Is the triggers, like the Joy-Con, are not analog. That's a con. I'm enjoying it without it because the games that I've played so far with it doesn't really require any analog or any feathering of the trigger. Like a racing game per se would require you to feather the trigger. So pretty much, but the difference between the analog and the digital is once you press the button, it's the button. You can't press it slowly and have it be a different button. You press it, that's it. So no analog with the Pro controller is a con, but the controller is still an excellent controller, and you are going to need this controller if you want to play games like Street Fighter that's coming out and all the digital download games that are going to come from the eStore. You're going to need this controller. I highly recommend you picking up a Pro controller alongside the Joy-Con that came along with the system. This is a Joy-Con. You can get it between $74 to 80 bucks. The Joy-Con is in the holder, and that's how we're going to deal with it in the holder for right now. Holding the Joy-Cons in your hand, very comfortable. I'm hitting the buttons, turning on the Switch right now. Anyhow, it's very comfortable in the hands. I'm assuming if you have big hands, it can be uncomfortable for you, but my hands are perfect for this, for the grip, for the Joy-Cons. The buttons, unfortunately, are not analog, so pretty much that means they are not pressure sensitive. You can't, like, especially for driving games, which you need, analogs for, to feather the gas, feather the brake, stuff like that. But that is not present, and that's actually a major con. But this controller has so much pluses, it outweighs that by far. The button presses on the Joy-Con, excellent. The D-pad, it will get the job done, but it's not the D-pad that you're going to need for games like Bomberman or Street Fighter or any other fighting games that you want to play with this type of D-pad. You're going to definitely need this bad boy or this bad girl right here to play with. But continuing on with the Joy-Cons, the vibration while playing games, experiencing it with Zelda, The vibration is very low. Now, I don't know if that's because Zelda, that's just the way it is with Zelda, or if any other games will implement it better and make it stronger based on the game, or that's the type of vibration that they just wanted for it, but it felt kind of weak in comparison to your PlayStation 4 Rumble or your Xbox One Rumble. But it did get the job done either way. The technology in it, though, when you're with the ice cubes and all that other stuff, was excellent. You really feel that with the controller. The buttons. The buttons on the Joy-Con, very small in comparison to the Pro controller. But like I said, it gets the job done. A controller, this is something that you would bring with you portably on the go with the controller, to have an extra controller. It gets the job done. Not the greatest, but it's there. The triggers on top of the Joy-Con are in very close proximity, so you may hit this by mistake, you may hit the top by mistake, you may hit both of them by mistake. Maybe the spacing could have been a little bit, but with a little practice, getting acquainted with the Joy-Cons in the grip, I'm pretty sure you'll get used to it like anything else and enjoy your gaming with them. Let's see, a plus about this is you can just hit the button, slide them out like so, boom. If you don't like the grip, now you can play with these bad boys in your hand. They fit comfortably in your hand. You have a good feel for them. You point, just the same. If you want to sit, if you're not the type of person that want to, if you have a disability or you're not able to, maybe hold your shoulders close together or something like that, some sort of disability that you have, you're able to sit back, kick your feet up, relax, do anything with your hands and control the screen. I like it like this. This is going to be useful for when you're doing motion control games, when you're doing the boxing games, when you're throwing stuff, whatever, when you're milking the cow. That game, come on, that game, very suggestive, but it's a good game nonetheless. But either way, it definitely has its uses. And I like it. I like the Joy-Cons. I have no problem with that. Okay? I would recommend purchasing another one for any of your two-player games and you want people to enjoy it as well. Even though this could be a two-player controller as well. But having another one of the Joy-Cons can't go wrong, if you could afford it. Now, right? So all in all, if you have expendable cash, if you can spare, work an extra shift, work an extra hour, pick yourself up a Pro controller to go alongside with your Joy-Cons. This way you can experience different types of games to the fullest with the proper control to use with it. Okay? That's the key. People say they're playing Zelda and they're having no problem using this. They're playing other games, they're having no problem. But we all know certain games, you're going to need this. That's why they're selling the Pro controller. You're going to need this. So you won't be disappointed with that purchase. It's a very good controller, and it stands up to the controller, Xbox One controller. It stands up to the PS4 controller as well, which is also a great controller. But we all know Xbox One has a good feel for their controller, and this actually has about the same feel, if not better, as if you're holding an Xbox One controller, because a lot of people like Xbox One controllers. So good job, Nintendo. I like your Pro Switch controller. Good job, Nintendo, once again. I like your Joy-Con controllers. Both of these controllers serve its purpose. They all have a purpose for the game that you want to play. So all in all, I tip my hat to Nintendo. This and this gets the CRYNGAMER's stamp of approval. Go pick up a Pro controller right now if you can get your hands on it. Each one of these controllers has a purpose for the game that you want to play. Use them for. Okay, so you're going to need both of them. You don't want to be playing Street Fighter with this Joy-Con. I can tell you that. But no. You don't want to play Bomberman with the Joy-Con. No. You want this controller for your fighting games and your platformers. I love this controller right now with Zelda. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope this was informative to you guys. If you guys are on the fence about the Pro controller, let me know in the comments if you like the Switch, if you like the Pro controller, if you like the Joy-Con controllers, if you like both of them. Let your voice be heard. Peace. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you on the next video. Shout out to Nintendo.